Chidi stood in the corner of his father's sitting room, watching everyone celebrate his younger brother. Nobody looked at him. Not once. And that was when he realized he had spent 12 years building this family's life, and Emeka had spent 12 years building his legend. Only one of them was being worshipped tonight. The room was full. Relatives packed every chair, some standing against the walls. Laughter bounced off the ceiling. Emeka sat at the center, tall and confident, telling a story about London traffic that somehow sounded like an achievement. Everyone leaned forward. Someone recorded on their phone. Chidi held a drink he hadn't tasted. His wife Adana stood beside him, her hand brushing his arm gently. She knew. She always knew. Emeka raised his glass. To family, he declared, voice filling the room. To coming home. Everyone cheered. Glasses lifted. Eyes clinked. Chidi's glass stayed by his side. 3 weeks earlier, the call had come. Chidi was in the shop, Papa Okafor's electronics and provisions, checking inventory in the back room. Sweat ran down his temples despite the ceiling fan spinning overhead. The afternoon heat pressed through the corrugated roof. A supplier had shorted them on batteries again. Chidi was recounting, pen behind his ear, when his phone rang. Papa showed on the screen. He answered. Yes, Papa. His father's voice came through excited, younger than his 68 years. Chidi, your brother is coming home. Chidi stopped counting. Emeka. Yes, yes. For Christmas. He's bringing his wife. The British woman. They are coming for 2 weeks, maybe more. Chidi said the right things. That's good. That's wonderful. You should see how well he's doing. The pictures he sends, big life. He has really made it over there. After the call, Chidi stood among boxes of goods he'd ordered, organized, and paid for. The shop was bigger now than when Papa handed it to him 12 years ago. 3 times bigger. More inventory. More customers. Staff that actually showed up on time. He picked up his pen and continued counting. Nobody asked how the counting went. The preparation week was a lesson in visibility. Monday morning, Papa called Chidi to the main house. We need to paint the guest room for your brother. He is used to fine things now. Chidi bought the paint. Good quality, not the cheap one. That evening, after closing the shop at 7, he painted the walls himself. Smooth strokes. 2 coats. The fumes made his head hurt, but the room looked fresh. New. Wednesday, Mama started cooking. Special meals appeared, native soup that took 6 hours to prepare, expensive fish, fresh vegetables from the market. Make sure the generator works, Papa said. Emeka is used to constant light in London. Chidi carried jerry cans of fuel from the filling station. Fixed the generator's wiring when it's packed. Tested it 3 times to be sure. Friday, relatives began arriving. Uncle Namdi came from the next village. Aunties appeared with wrappers tied high and opinions ready. Emeka is coming from London. Auntie Ngozi announced to anyone within hearing distance. Someone turned to Chidi, almost as an afterthought. When will you travel? Chidi wiped grease from his hands. He'd been fixing the main gate. Somebody has to stay and take care of things. The woman nodded slowly. That one is also good, sure. Her voice said the words. Her face said something else. Saturday, the village WhatsApp group caught fire. Photos of Emeka's UK life circulated, Emeka at a restaurant, Emeka beside Big Ben, Emeka in a suit at some event. Hearts and fire emojis filled the screen. Chidi saw them while updating the shop's inventory spreadsheet on his phone. He scrolled past without reacting. Adana found him that evening sitting on their small veranda, staring at nothing. She sat beside him, didn't speak immediately. That was one of the things he loved about her. She knew when silence was better than words. Finally, quietly, she said, "You've done well too." Chidi's jaw tightened. "Nobody notices what you do every day." She took his hand. Sunday morning arrived with dust and anticipation. By noon, the compound was swept 3 times. Plastic chairs borrowed from the church lined the walkway. Children were warned to stay clean. Mama changed her wrapper twice. Then, the sound. A car engine. Deeper than normal. Smoother. Everyone moved at once. Papa rushed out, adjusting his cap. Mama followed, wrapper tied perfectly now. Aunties positioned themselves for the best view. Children ran ahead, shouting. The car turned into the compound, a sleek silver sedan that looked too clean for the red dust roads. It slowed, parked under the big mango tree beside Chidi's modest Honda. The contrast was immediate. Everybody saw it. The driver's door opened. Emeka stepped out. He looked like the photos come to life. Clean-shaven, wearing a fitted shirt that probably cost more than Chidi's monthly fuel budget. Dark jeans without a single wrinkle. Shoes that reflected sunlight. The passenger door opened. A white woman emerged, blonde hair, uncertain smile, eyes adjusting to the brightness. Jessica. The British wife everyone had heard about but never seen. Mama cried immediately. Full tears, hands raised. "My son. You have come." Papa embraced Emeka, held him long, patted his back like he was confirming he was real. Relatives surged forward. Photos started. Phones lifted. Someone went live on Facebook. The boot opened. Bags came out, expensive-looking luggage, shopping bags with foreign labels. Emeka directed the unloading like someone used to being obeyed. Chidi came out last, from the back of the compound. Oil stained his shirt, he'd been fixing a faulty connection on the shop's wiring. He wiped his hands on a rag as he approached. Emeka saw him and grinned. "Chidi. My guy." They embraced briefly, the kind of hug men give when they're not sure what else to do. "Welcome home," Chidi said. "Still here, I see." Emeka said it casually, even fondly. But the words landed differently than he probably meant them. Inside, the gift ceremony began. Emeka distributed presents with the flair of someone who'd rehearsed. Designer perfume for Mama, from Harrods. A watch for Papa, Swiss-made. Chocolates for the aunties. A toy for some cousin's child. Each gift came with its announcement. Each announcement brought gasps and thanks. Chidi received a shirt. Simple, decent. Not cheap, but not the watch Papa got. "For you, brother," Emeka said, handing it over. "Thank you," Chidi said. Dinner that evening felt like a stage performance. The long table was set properly. China plates that only appeared for important visitors. Meat stacked high. Rice fluffy and perfect. The good wine came out. Emeka sat at the head beside Papa. Mama on his other side. Jessica beside Emeka, still looking slightly overwhelmed. Chidi sat further down, Adana beside him. Emeka told stories. The restaurant he'd been to where one meal cost £50. The time he met a Nigerian celebrity in Manchester. The cold British winters. The opportunities. Everyone listened like it was cinema. Phones recorded. Uncle Namdi laughed too loud at every joke. At some point, Chidi tried to share news about the shop. "Papa, the new supplier I found has better." "Let your brother finish first," Papa said, hand raised gently. Chidi stopped talking. Under the table, Adana squeezed his hand. Jessica glanced at Chidi, something like confusion crossing her face. But the moment passed, swallowed by Emeka's next story. After dinner, as people settled with full bellies and satisfied smiles, Papa stood. The room quieted. Tomorrow, he announced, we will have a family meeting. Important discussions about the future of this family. Nods all around. Murmurs of agreement. Chidi felt something cold settle in his stomach. Adana's grip tightened. Morning came the way it always did for Chidi, early and demanding. 5:30. The compound still quiet except for roosters and the neighbor's generator. He dressed in the dark, careful not to wake Adana. Walked to the shop through the cool Harmattan air. Checked the locks, opened up, turned on lights. A supplier called about a delayed shipment. Chidi negotiated, firm but fair, got a discount for the trouble. Updated the accounts book. Checked stock levels. Noticed they were running low on phone chargers, the cheap ones everyone bought. Made a note to reorder. By the time he fixed a flickering fluorescent tube and swept the front entrance, it was 7:30. All before breakfast. Emeka woke at 10. Chidi saw him emerge onto the veranda, stretching, yawning. Mama appeared immediately with tea and bread. Emeka scrolled his phone while eating, smiled at something on the screen. Minutes later, a photo appeared on Instagram, "Good morning from home Nigeria red heart." Location tagged. Filters applied. 20 likes in 5 minutes. They crossed paths in the compound around 11. Emeka wore casual clothes that probably cost what Chidi made in a week. "Guy, you don't work this morning?" Emeka asked, genuinely curious. "Business doesn't sleep," Chidi replied. Emeka laughed, friendly. "That's why you need to work smart, not hard. Like me. Use your head, not your hands." He tapped his temple, smiled, walked toward the main house. Chidi stood there for a moment, then returned to the shop. 30 minutes later, Adana found him staring at the account books without really seeing them. She closed the door behind her. Stood beside his desk. "You need to say something." "Like what?" "That you've been holding this family together." Chidi shook his head slowly. "They don't want to hear it. They want to celebrate the one who left. The one who sends pictures. Then make them hear it." He looked up at her. Saw the frustration on her behalf, the love behind it. "At the meeting," she said. "Say something." That afternoon, the women gathered in the kitchen. Mama stirred a pot of stew that had been simmering since morning. Adana peeled yams. 2 aunties chopped vegetables. Jessica sat on a low stool, watching, trying to help but not knowing how. The conversation flowed easily: births, marriages, who was traveling for Christmas, whose son got admission to university. Then Auntie Ngozi, never one for subtlety, turned to Jessica. "You are so lucky," she said, smiling. "Emeka is doing so well in London." Jessica's smile faltered slightly. "Well, it's not been easy." Mama looked up from her pot. "At least he has good job, nice life." Jessica hesitated. Her hands twisted together. "Actually, he's been between jobs for a while now." The chopping slowed. The kitchen got quieter. Adana, gently, "So, how is he managing?" Jessica looked down. "Savings. And, we might have to come back permanently. His visa situation is complicated." Silence. Auntie Ngozi's knife stopped completely. "So the money, the car, the gifts." "Credit," Jessica said softly. "And pride. He wanted to impress everyone. He's been so stressed. That's partly why we came, he needed a break from the pressure there." Mama lowered her spoon slowly. The women exchanged glances. Entire conversations happened in those looks. "So my son has been suffering in silence," Mama said quietly, while we praised the noise. Nobody answered. Adana caught Mama's eye. Something passed between them. Understanding. Complexity. The recognition that this family meeting tomorrow had just become more complicated than anyone knew. Later that afternoon, Uncle Namdi visited the shop. He was Papa's younger brother, the one who'd built his own business in the next town. Respected. Sharp. The family always listened when he spoke. He walked through the shop slowly, observing. Noticed the organization. The clean shelves. The staff greeting customers properly. The new section Chidi had added last year. "You've grown this place," Uncle said, impressed. Chidi showed him the books. The real numbers, not the stories people told. Revenue had tripled in 5 years. They'd expanded to 3 locations, this main shop, a smaller outlet by the motor park, and a wholesale partnership with 2 other villages. "You've tripled the business," Uncle said, studying the figures. "People don't really ask about it," Chidi replied. Uncle Namdi was quiet for a moment. "Then, your father is considering the future of the business." Chidi's hand stilled on the ledger. "He wants to bring Emeka into leadership. You know, international experience. Fresh perspective." The afternoon suddenly felt colder. "Leadership." Chidi's voice came out careful. "He's been gone 12 years. Uncle shifted uncomfortably. "Your father thinks modern thinking will help. Plus, Emeka is," he stopped. "What?" "Say it." "He has exposure, Chidi. He's been abroad. Seen things." Chidi closed the ledger slowly. "I thought I was the firstborn." "You are." But what?" "I wasn't abroad. I was here, building this." "That makes me less qualified." Uncle Namdi had no answer that wouldn't hurt. After he left, Chidi sat in the shop until darkness came. Adana found him there, surrounded by 12 years of receipts, records, growth. On the wall hung a photo, young Chidi, 26 years old, standing in front of the shop the day Papa handed him the keys. Papa's arm around his shoulders. The caption beneath, in Papa's handwriting, "My son. I trust you to hold this." "They are going to give it to him," Chidi said. "Everything I built. They are going to give it to Emeka." His hands shook slightly as they rested on the accounts book. Adana said nothing. Just stood beside him as the lights faded outside. Evening came. The sitting room was arranged with purpose. Not casual. This was formal. Papa sat at the center, Mama beside him. Uncle Namdi and 2 senior aunties formed a semicircle. Both brothers sat opposite, a small table between them with drinks nobody touched. Adana sat slightly behind Chidi. Jessica beside Emeka, looking nervous though she didn't fully understand why. Papa cleared his throat. The room settled. "I have called this meeting to discuss the future of this family," he began. His voice carried the weight of years of authority. "The business has done well. Chidi has managed it. But now, we need growth. International connections. Modern thinking." He paused. Everyone waited. "Emeka, now that you're back, I want you to become managing director. Chidi will remain as operations manager." The words hung in the air like smoke. Chidi stared straight ahead. His face was stern. Mama's eyes darted to him, then away. Adana's hand gripped her wrapper so tight her knuckles paled. Papa continued, "Emeka's experience abroad will take us to the next level. Plus," he gestured vaguely, "the compound will be divided. Emeka will manage the upper section for his family when they relocate permanently." Details followed. Property lines. Inheritance shares. Emeka getting the larger portion, to attract him back home permanently, to make it worth his while. "Chidi," Papa said, almost as an afterthought, "you understand these things. You've always been the patient one. The reasonable one." Something inside Chidi snapped. Not loud. Not dramatic. Just snapped. He stood. Slowly. Deliberately. Everyone looked at him. Chidi, Adana started. Sit down, let's finish, Uncle Namdi began. No. Chidi's voice was quiet, but it cut through everything. I need to say something. The room froze. For 12 years, Chidi had kept his voice measured. Respectful. Quiet. Not tonight. For 12 years, he began, voice steady, I have woken up before dawn. For 12 years, I have carried this family's business on my back. I cancelled my plans to go to Abuja for better opportunities. I used my salary to send my younger brother abroad so he could have chances I gave up. I stayed when I wanted to leave. I built when I wanted to rest. He looked around the room. Everyone was frozen. And every year, when Emeka called from London, everyone gathered around the phone like it was Christmas. Nobody gathered when I brought home profit reports. Nobody celebrated when we expanded to 3 locations. Nobody asked how I was doing, if I was tired, if I needed help. His voice didn't rise. That made it more powerful. He turned to Emeka. You are my brother. I don't hate you. But you've been gone. You don't know what happened here. The flood that almost destroyed the shop, I spent 3 nights moving goods to high ground. The customer who refused to pay 20,000 naira and I had to chase him for 6 months. The armed robbers who came one night, and I slept in the shop with a machete to protect our property. Emeka's face had gone pale. You don't know, Chidi continued, because you weren't here. You were building your life. And that's fine. That's your choice. But don't let them erase mine because yours looks better in photos. He turned to Papa. The hardest part. Papa, I respected you. I obeyed you. I thought if I worked hard enough, if I proved myself enough, you would see me. But you only see the son who left. The one who sends pictures. The one who visits once in 12 years with a car he probably borrowed. His voice cracked, just slightly. Do you even know my daughter's favorite color? Do you know Adana's mother has been sick? Do you know I paid for Emeka's first ticket myself, 20% of my salary that month? Do you know anything about the son who never left? Silence pressed down like weight. You can give Emeka the business. Chidi's words came slower now, each one chosen. You can give him the compound. You can give him everything. But don't tell me I'm the patient one. I'm not patient. I'm invisible. And I'm tired, his voice finally broke. I'm tired of being invisible. He sat down. The room held its breath. Mama was crying silently. Adana's hand found his, grip tight. Papa looked like he'd been struck. His mouth opened. Closed. No words came. Emeka stood suddenly. Chidi. He struggled. I didn't know. I thought, he turned to Papa. I can't take this. I can't take what he built. His voice was rough. Papa, I've been struggling in London. Lost my job 8 months ago. The visa. I might have to leave. I came home because I didn't know where else to go. And I thought, he laughed bitterly. I thought at least here, people still thought I was winning. Jessica reached for his hand. Papa sat frozen, his carefully constructed plans crumbling around him. Finally, Mama spoke. Her voice was soft, but it filled the room. Sometimes the child who is always present is the one we forget to see. Because we think they will always be there. We take their lights for granted while chasing lights that flicker from far away. She wiped her eyes. We have been fools. Both of you are my sons. But one has been suffering with us, and we didn't even notice. The meeting dissolved slowly after that. No decisions made. Just silence and thinking. As people dispersed, Uncle Namdi caught Chidi's arm. That took courage, he said simply. Chidi just nodded, suddenly exhausted. The next morning came differently. Chidi woke to find Emeka sitting under the mango tree, alone. The early light was gentle, forgiving. Chidi walked over. Sat beside him. For a while, they said nothing. Then Emeka, "I'm sorry, brother." His voice was raw. "I thought I was winning. But I've been drowning. In London, I work 2 security jobs just to pay rent. Jessica's family doesn't accept me. I send photos of one nice day and pretend it's every day." He looked at his hands. "You know what's funny? I envied you. You have respect here. Real respect, not the fake kind I was getting. You built something real. I just built noise." Chidi felt the anger from last night soften. "You could have told us. And lose the only thing I had." Emeka's laugh was sad. "The successful son title. That's all I brought home." They sat in silence as the compound woke around them. "I don't want the business," Emeka said finally. "It's yours. It was always yours. I'll help if you want. Learn from you. But it's yours." The brothers shook hands. Then embraced. Properly this time. Later that morning, Chidi was at the shop when Papa arrived. The old man walked in slowly, looking around like he was seeing it for the first time. Watched Chidi walk. Saw how the staff respected him, not from fear, but from genuine regard. Saw the growth charts on the wall. The expansion plans. The vision. Saw what he'd been missing. Papa stood by the desk for a long time before speaking. "I thought providing meant giving the business to the successful one." His voice was thick. "I didn't see that the successful one was already here. Working. Building. Every day." Chidi kept his eyes on the ledger. "I didn't need you to give me the business, Papa." His voice was quiet. "I needed you to see me." Papa's face crumpled. "I see you now. And I am ashamed it took your pain to open my eyes." He pulled papers from his pocket. "Official documents. The business is yours. Completely. Legal papers, everything. Not because I'm giving it, because you built it. I was just too blind to acknowledge it." He placed them on the desk. "I will tell everyone what you've done. No more taking you for granted." Chidi looked at the papers. Then at his father. "I don't need everyone to know, Papa. I just needed you to know." They embraced. Papa held him tighter than he had in years. "I'm sorry," the old man whispered. "I'm so sorry." That evening, the family gathered again. Different atmosphere this time. Chidi sat beside Papa now. Not in the corner. Conversation flowed naturally. People asked about the business, genuinely curious. Aunties mentioned the expansion they'd heard about. Uncle Namdi praised the growth numbers. Jessica and Adana sat together, bonding over being married to brothers who carry too much silently. Mama made an announcement: "We almost lost something precious because we were chasing what looked precious. This family must learn. Presence is not weakness. Silence is not consent. And loyalty deserves honor." People nodded. Really nodded. Emeka would stay, but differently now. Learn the business. Help Chidi. Build something real instead of impressive. The compound would be shared fairly. Both sons honored, one for presence, one for trying. Late that night, Chidi and Adana sat outside under the stars. "You finally spoke your truth," she said. "For years, I thought silence was strength." He looked at his hands, builder's hands, calloused, capable. But silence made me invisible. He gazed at the compound, the shop in the distance, the family inside. "I didn't need to live to be successful. I just needed to be seen where I was. Adana leaned against him. Peace settled over them like the cool night air. Feature: local entrepreneur triples family business, the silent success of Chidi Okafor. Papa framed it. Hung it in the sitting room where everyone could see. Emeka started a UK-Nigeria trade partnership under Chidi's leadership. Using his London contacts, Chidi's business sense. Brothers. Partners. Equal. And the family WhatsApp group. It finally started sharing both brothers' achievements. The one who built. And the one who was learning to build again. The moral. In every family, there is someone who stays. Who builds in silence. Who sacrifices without announcement. They don't make noise. They don't demand praise. But they are the foundation. The fruit growing in your backyard is not less valuable than fruit imported from abroad. Sometimes, it is sweeter. You just forgot to taste it. Honor the one who waters the tree. Not just the one who returns to eat the fruit. If you are the one who stayed, who built, who sacrificed, your time will come. Your value doesn't decrease because others fail to see it. And if you are the family that has overlooked someone, look again. Really look. They might be the answered prayer you stopped noticing. May you have the courage to speak your truth when silence becomes invisibility. May you receive the honor you deserve. And may those who love you finally see you.